I don't have a lot of problems with the Nintendo Switch. In fact, in all aspects, the Nintendo Switch is probably one of the best consoles of all time. But if I had to have one problem with the Switch, Jesus Christ, do my Joy-Cons constantly get drift. I'm on my third set of Joy-Cons because the other two, the ones I originally came with the Switch and the ones I bought after the fact, all succumbed to Joy-Con drift. One of the banes of my existence. And I've always been super interested in all these Joy-Con alternatives, all these other types of docked controllers or portable mode controllers that I really like. And there's even a few that I'm going to make a lot of comparisons to in this video. But before we get into that, this product was provided to me by Nixie. They don't have any copy approval. They didn't get a notice if this video was being made. They have zero content approval, and all my opinions and thoughts are my own. The video is not sponsored, but the product was provided by Nixie. Now that we got the disclosure out of the way, let's jump right into this. I've had multiple different kinds of, controllers over the years. I've had the Binbok controllers, I had the Hori SplitPad Pros, which have been my long-term favorite controller. But I've always had my problems with these controllers for one reason or another. One of them being the SplitPad Pros. Analog sticks aren't amazing on those. The Binbok has really bad build quality and just overall inconsistencies because I've seen people who've gotten them and they've been great. I've had mine personally, had a wonky D-pad. Analog sticks have like kinks in them. It's just very inconsistent. So when Nixie reached out recently and asked if I was interested in their products, and I didn't even know this was coming, but once I did have it, I was incredibly thankful and I thought it was a super cool controller. So after a while of using it, it's an amazing controller. I think it fixes most of my issues that I've ever had with previous attempts at a sort of like a pro controller for portable mode that I've seen so far. I'll run you down some of the speeds and feeds of this controller. It has pulse sensing analog sticks, which are amazing. They have a metal gated ring so you can have a very smooth control stick experience. So basically, just moving the analog stick around basically feels really smooth and it's very slick, and I really like that. I have experienced similar features like that on something like my PowerA Elite controller for my Xbox. Those of you who have the Xbox Elite controller might have also felt that super smooth stick gate. It just in general feels really nice. Excellent D-pad, probably one of my favorite D-pads ever, honestly, I've ever used for the Switch. In comparison to the SplitPad Pros and the Binbok controllers, this D-pad is amazing. It's even better than the official Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which is a comparison that I don't make lightly because I actually genuinely liked the D-pad on the Pro controller. It has RGB illumination on the analog stick gates and just accent lights on the sides of the controllers. They don't really do much, and I haven't seen an appreciable decrease in battery life because of it. It's just a nice thing for more visual appeal, I guess. I generally have it set to static blue or purple. The other ones where the breathing mode just kind of looks tacky, and the sort of rainbow cycle one isn't particularly great because it's stuck at the same 4 colors. It doesn't actually go through the full selection of colors this thing has. So I don't generally stick to that one. It's also kind of distracting if you're playing a game. It has reprogrammable back buttons, which I personally don't really like because I always accidentally click them and it's just kind of distracting. But if you're really interested in remapping and turbo buttons and stuff, this controller does have that. Something I don't see often, the illuminated face buttons. Having the ABXYs light up is actually pretty cool, and I like having it in bed at night because I don't play my Nintendo Switch constantly, so I sometimes take a second to have to remember the button mappings or the button placements. And at night, when you're just lying in your bed and you can't really see the faces of the face buttons, you kind of can get confusing depending on how long between play sessions I am on my Switch. So being able to see the buttons is actually pretty neat. This is Nixie's Hyperion Pro, so it comes in 2 colorways. The green style and GameCube purple, which is the one I have here. And I personally really like the GameCube styling, and specifically on the face buttons, it gives a very jeweled look to it. Just having that recessed color with that clear pass-through really does make them look like little jewels, and something that you might see in the marketing material or on their website. The face buttons are closer to an egg shape, That is not how it is in person. It's kind of weird how they sort of shot these product images in all these B-rolls and stuff where the face buttons look like they're oval shaped like the original Xbox controller. Bizarre. The controllers can also be unattached from the Switch and be able to be used in dock mode, which is really nice. It also has gyro, so it has some support for motion controls in games that have that. I have the Nixie Hyperion Pro in the purple color, which can be had for about $60. They currently have a sale going where you can get 20% off, so that's a pretty solid price for such a high quality controller. Compare it to something similar is the Hori Splitpad Pros. It's from a reputable brand. It's from licensed officially by Nintendo and comes in a couple different variants. It just has a plethora of variants you can choose from in terms of colorways. The Splitpad Pros have very similar features initially, like having remappable back buttons, but some important features that it doesn't have is being able to be used wirelessly from the Nintendo Switch. It is an only docked controller unless you buy the $15 add-on, or you can buy it included with the whole bundle for $73 to use the controller as a wired controller. Not even use it as a wireless controller, as a wired only controller. So it's not necessarily the best comparison, but it's the most popular alternative. Another noticeable lacking feature on the Splitpad Pros, it doesn't have Hole sensing analog sticks, so it is plausible that yours can die or eventually succumb to drift. I know mine has a slight drift to the right in the right controller, and that's kind of annoying. After recalibrating the sticks and the Switch's software, it's fine now. It's just a little noticeable now, so that helps, but it's not a perfect solution. If you get the version of the Splitpad Pros without the wired controller attachment, it's about $42, usually $50 if you find it on sale, so that's a pretty solid price. I think that also goes to show how an amazing deal the Nixie controllers are though. You get so many of these features and you pay like an extra $10-15 more and you get availabilities to wireless play, gyro controls, hole sensing sticks, an overall more higher premium experience. And I like that. I'm the kind of person who buys the Pro controller. I buy the Elite controllers. I just like a nice feeling, high quality experience, and be able to take that sort of experience that I've grown used to at home on the go with my Switch is awesome. Because the only way I've been able to achieve that was with stuff like the Splitpad Pros that just feel hollow and could only be used when in portable mode. Having this Nixie controller, being able to dock it and then slide it into the grip that comes with it, that allows you to use it as also just a standard controller for your Switch, it's awesome, and it still allows you to be able to have that flexibility. I also don't know why you would want to do this. It's incredibly uncomfortable, but you can still use each controller as its own controller. It still has the ZR and ZL buttons, little chiclet buttons on the inside of the controller. So you can still split them into two separate controllers for having multiplayer, if you still want to do that. But it's kind of weird using the left side because it has a D-pad and not, the weird separated like chiclet buttons that you see on normal Joy-Cons. So you can split them apart for two people, but I don't recommend doing that because not only is it uncomfortable, it is incredibly confusing if you end up with the left one. The only downside I see with the Nixie controller is that the sticks feel a little loose, but that's probably because that they have the hot swappable sort of stick cap so you can get replacements, or replace the metal rings so you can have that pure slippiness again. But it's fine. I've seen looser, but I wish it was a little tighter feeling. It just has a little wobble to it that makes me feel a little bad or just concerned about the rest of the build quality of the rest of the controller. It's just a weird thing to cheap out on at this level of price. It's the kind of thing you might see from like the Binbot controller that you shouldn't necessarily see from an established brand like Nixie, who quite literally made a name for themselves for making high quality Nintendo Switch controllers. So it's just an oversight that I feel like should be mentioned. So what are your thoughts? Are you interested in a sort of a Pro controller for portable mode like I am? Leave a comment down below because I'm super interested to hear what you guys think about this controller. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media garbage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.